gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
It's time for the Early Bird Special. Bringing you the best stories from the world of sports and sports entertainment. Now, here are your hosts, Sparky and Burdick.
And welcome back to the Early Bird Special, Thursday, Hour 2. I'm Chris Burdick. That's Sparky. And we have a special guest in the building, Spark.
Yeah, I'm done crying. My therapy Thursday's over. I got my BFF in the studio, Daniel Betts, not only the owner of the Well Comedy Club, one of the funniest men I've ever met in my life. You might have seen him on Beast Games. Man, the guy is everywhere. We'll get into everything. So let's just welcome Dan Betts. What's up, beautiful?
Nothing, man. Good to see you, dude. It's you're my BFF too, and I love you. Look, I'm making a little cute little heart thing for you. Just
man, I gotta give some
for the viewers.
I love, man. Comedians usually stay up super late, so it was just the pleasure of you waking up this early or staying up all the way until this.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I'm not thrilled about it.
So you know what I mean? Take your nap after this. But I know there's big news. If you've seen it on Instagram or social media, there's some big news coming for the Well Comedy Club. So what's really going on?
What big news? What are we talking about? Are you talking about the tariffs? Or what are we talking?
He said the T word, man.
I don't know anything about the tariffs, so you'd be educating me on that one.
We're giving out free eggs all week.
Oh, God.
How about that?
It's
nice. The barrel
down
full?
to the Well Comedy Club. Yeah, another barrel just arrived today from China. We got Chinese goose eggs, but you'll never know. Just come on down.
Hey, they're bigger too. There you go.
They're bigger, a little bit bigger. Yeah, we're moving. The Well Comedy Club is moving its first from its first home. And it's bittersweet. It's sad. It's sad to leave what we've done over there on White Lane. Tonight's the last free Thursday night open mic.
Really?
The mic that started it all. And Did you know that it was this fast?
I didn't know it was this
Tomorrow
quick.
night is the last show.
Wow.
Yeah, it's happening very fast. So,
And that's the open mic. We've had Tyson and
Yes.
Anthony on the show recently. So
those guys came here before me.
Well, not
on
the radio.
It was on the
side.
podcast.
You better.
This is the first week of the
Don't look at me.
special.
I was gonna get up and leave right now. So I'll flip this mic stand over, drag me out of bed here to be your fifth guest.
So if you,
I don't think so.
so if you don't have plans
BFF I
tonight,
am.
go check out the open mic. That's Thursday nights, right?
Tonight, yeah. Tonight's
And
the last open mic. And then
7401 White Lane.
You got it.
And you can also, is there any shows this weekend?
Just Friday night. Tomorrow night we have $5 funnies. We do it every now and again.
And is that the final
$5 show? It's the last show, man.
Wow. Oh, I'll be there.
You promise?
You heard me, Ghostface. She's driving my son to school right now, and we will be there. I
You
promise.
call
that.
your girl Ghostface?
Yeah, it's a long story. It's a long
You're
story.
gonna have to explain that now to everybody.
I will.
Because now there's a lot of people online saying, "Why does she look like Ghostface? Can she rap? What's
No,
happening?"
she likes horror movies, and when my son was younger, I was going through a divorce, and we had just different nicknames. Me and my son are just, we think we're funny, but we're little in-home comics, and she never heard of the Wu-Tang Clan, which I played her a little earlier today. So
took a turn.
Right,
Okay, I was thinking you were gonna go with the scream.
So I did the show, or I did the song where they start off the listing all the members of Wu-Tang.
Okay.
And Ghostface stuck. She was wearing she was watching horror movies.
Okay.
And she never heard of Ghostface, and it just stuck. Now she has a whole collection of Ghostface from the Scream movies.
She wears one when they make whoopee. They make
Whoopee. Anytime she picks up the phone, she says,
if she feels like looking at me during that. But yes, we will be at the Friday show. We will be posting that on our Instagram, everybody.
Man.
So
Please, I'll get you some tickets too, by the way.
if you're driving, it's thewellcomedyclub.com. So what's going on after this Friday?
That's it. We're tearing out of there, dude. We're leaving. So long story short, we had an amazing opportunity present itself to us. And it was kind of right there in front of us, and we had to think about it and go, well, what are we going to do? We can it was a narrow window. This window is going to close, and it's going to slip by, and or we can move incredibly fast. And so that's why it's happening the way that it is. We went, you know what? This is the move to move the club into what I think is going to be our future forever home.
Beautiful.
I love the spot that it's going to be at. There's a bunch of reasons. I love that we're not announcing yet where it's going to be or when we'll reopen. There's going to be a little bit of a gap between turning the lights off on White Lane and then opening up in the new location, just because we had to do it this quickly. And even at that, we considered, do we just stay down for a little while, do all the construction and everything on the new property, and open it up and do everything that we want to do for the future home, or do we just get back into it right away? So that's what we're going to do. We got to wait on permitting from the city anyway. So rather than being down and the day the laughter died, we wanted to get in there as quick as possible. So we'll last show is tomorrow, and we're going to start tearing everything out of there, and then we will reopen as fast as humanly possible at the next location. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be super cool. It's going to be super exciting.
Of course. I mean, I don't know if I brought up this story on this radio show, but I met Dan back in the day. He was doing open mics at the Rocket Shop.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few months after that, the movement over after COVID, they moved into the Well Comedy Club, and is and will always be the first and only full-time comedy club here in town. And dude, I've had so many great memories at the Well Comedy Club, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter, the evolution of the Well Comedy Club. Are you keeping the name?
Keeping the name, yeah. It's super exciting, man. I think I don't know how many hints I want to drop. We might have a beer garden for a while too. I think that'll be kind of cool.
Food,
yeah. We'll
awesome.
we'll probably be open for lunch, which we've been talking about doing for a long time.
Oh, nice.
Where we're at, so we'll probably be open for lunch. We'll probably do happy hour. We'll do some more after hours stuff. It's exciting. It's stressful.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my butt kicked trying to get out of there as fast as we're doing this. And I'm taking everything, buddy. I'm taking urinals. You name it. You name it. I'm taking the lights,
The couches.
Ripping the stage out of there too.
stage, all of it, dude. I'm
wow.
I'm taking ceiling fans. I'm leaving nothing at this terrible property.
So I'm assuming just follow you guys on social media, and there'll be hints and whatnot of when this is all going to take place.
Yeah, I think that's kind of actually how we'll do it. Is we'll drop a couple hints over the next couple of weeks.
All right.
We just got a bunch of moving parts. Trying to execute it this quickly.
Right.
I don't want to jinx things.
Of
So I'm
course.
just kind of playing it close to the vest for a little bit, building a little bit of anticipation, and then
Mhm.
boom, dropping it.
So do you have an open date, or we're just kind of follow on the Instagram?
Yeah, not gonna give the date
That's
or the
that's good.
location
That's
yet.
good. I like it.
I
So
know.
everybody, I will keep pumping it up, but
I'm
Friday.
so tired. I almost told you. I was almost and I almost just spilled the beans.
Almost spilled it.
Lord.
Well,
You
it's-
can't drag me out of bed this early.
go to the
This
Well
is-
Comedy Club tomorrow night. Meet me and Burdick and Ghostface.
and
Absolutely.
Ghostface.
And Ghostface.
Absolutely.
The final show at the Well Comedy Club. But there is other things that Dan is always involved. There's always something going on in that little beautiful head of yours.
Thank you.
So we'll start off first with Beast Games.
Yes.
Beast Games. What do you want to know?
Anything.
First of all, that dance. Me and my family started watching that, and we only got 2 or 3 episodes in, because after all the emotions in that
Yeah.
show, I was like, after Dan was out, I'm like, I think I'm done with this show. But if anybody doesn't know Mr. Beast, I believe his name
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
My son is was a follower of his, so I had to find his pop-up kitchen a couple years ago,
Oh,
and
yeah,
got the
good dad.
Mr. Beast burger that was overpriced and not that good, but he loved it. He enjoyed it. It was a memory. And then he had a new show on Prime called Beast Games. And this man, I believe it was the funniest part of the show. What I watched was the dance,
Yeah.
which I saw all over social media for the following weeks. But how was the whole
The experience.
the experience, and what did that start at the Raiders Stadium?
Yeah, so episode 0, I guess, was on his YouTube channel.
Mhm.
And then the first episode was on Prime and everything after that. So I think the goal was get all the YouTube viewers to watch it on his channel and then head on over
Move
to
it
Prime
over,
to watch
yeah,
it from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But a lot of folks that I know never saw episode 0. So we started with 2,000 of us at Allegiant Stadium. And they dwindled it down to 1,000 of us from there.
Mm.
So it's funny. We filmed there. We slept there. We slept on the floor, on the field of Allegiant. It wasn't the grass. It wasn't the turf or whatever. It was olive pits, which was interesting.
Okay.
Okay. But so we slept there, and then I had to win 4 challenges there. So more than the Raiders have ever won.
I was waiting for that one.
Shots fired. I saw by the way, just the fact that I happen to notice your Raiders mouse.
Oh no,
pad
this
as I
one
was
is
saying,
not me.
Yeah.
I'm a Falcons
flip it over.
fan.
Flip it
Yeah.
over. Don't let anybody know about
He's
this.
actually a Falcons fan.
I am a diehard Falcons fan.
A
I'm not a
Falcons
Raider.
fan. All right.
I'm not a Raider at all.
Okay,
so.
good to know.
Yeah.
And Betts is from Chicago, so he's the only Bears fan I know. But we have the love for the Bulls, so
Yeah, we share that in
we
common.
share
At
that
least.
at least.
But I mean, you did say you hated the Cubs, which is
I do hate the
that's
Cubs.
blasphemy.
But I
Some
grew up
you.
watching
Are you
the
a
White
Cubs fan?
Sox.
I have a soft spot for the Cubs. I'm a Phillies fan, but I respect the Cubs at least.
I liked the White Sox growing
The,
up. so
really? The
I
number
had-
one losingest
I had
team in
W-
the
baseball.
history of MLB?
that's
the
what was
Royals
streaming
have
on.
won a World Series.
That's
before
fine. I'm
the
also a
White
Dolphins
Sox.
fan. If you guys want
And
to
I was
beat me
gonna
while I'm
say,
down.
you poor thing, right? Here we are on ESPN Radio. We have to talk about it. Your quarterback doesn't have a lot of
Here we
hits left
go.
in him.
No, he doesn't. I was just saying he needs a second Guardian cap to go over the first one. You know,
Yeah.
you just
No.
double wrap
He
him.
just
at this
needs an
point.
offensive
Bubble- he
line.
needs a
bubble
bubble
wrap.
wrap.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I mean,
Anyways, so
Okay, so
that
back to
moved
me
into the
losing.
episode
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
podium. Is that when you guys were all in the lines in the squares?
So then we took a break and then we went back to Toronto to film the rest of it.
Oh, really?
And then, after I got eliminated, they went to Panama temporarily and then back to Toronto to finish off the show.
So is that where the island
Uh-huh.
was?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that was that second episode is when you guys had the two towers
Yes.
and you were on one side. So breaking it down, they split the teams into sections and had to go into these like big, almost looking like a parking structure.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking
And
about
that's
the
where you
pillars
got
that were-
eliminated, right?
Yeah. So episode 2 broke down into it was 4 floors on 2 opposing towers,
Mhm.
and each floor was two teams facing off. And we were on the second floor, and the gist of our challenge was to see how many people we could get to eliminate themselves
Right.
for nothing. Just go home. Thanks for coming to Vegas. Thanks for coming to Toronto. It's time to go home now. You get nothing. It's like leaving Willy Wonka when he's like,
With nothing.
Good
You
day,
lose.
sir.
You did
Yeah.
nothing.
And so we ended up getting 4 people to eliminate. No, 3 people. The other team got 4. And it was interesting. They didn't show that there was this button you could hit, and it would show a live feed to the other side. It never made the episode. We had one person who was on their way out the door, and somebody on the team grabbed him and held him. Was like, "Don't go, man! Like we're in this together." At the last second, so we would have tied 4-4 if that guy didn't get held. And there was another guy on our team that like made his goodbyes very clear, but in front of the camera, trying to get his 15 minutes of fame.
Of
And I was
course.
like, "Hey man, like you got to bounce, bro. Like you
Go.
stop crying. You said goodbye. Like you said you're leaving. It's time to go, dude. You know what I mean?"
Yeah, because I remember you were one of the almost team captains where you
Yeah.
grabbed the phone where you could talk to each other, and I was like, I wonder how real this is. And so all of it is real.
Yeah. And the girl wasn't supposed to grab the phone either. We kind of had a plan on our team, and we were going to psych out the other team. And she grabbed the phone. So a few things went wrong, and we went home. And it was funny, if you watched anything after that episode ends with they take the 4 like captains from the winning teams, and they put them up in front of a buzzer, give them a chance to take $1 million and stay in the game.
Now,
And it would have been me up there.
that was the question I was going to pose to you. Would you have pressed the
would I have
button?
taken it?
That's a lot of money to walk away from.
You'll never tell.
I won't tell.
Neither will I.
The internet won't either. But I mean, hey,
I was not going to take it. And
No? Okay.
Here's the thing. So when people started eyeing me to be a captain, the question, I was getting grilled about like, because Mr. Beast's whole thing is a lot of times he'll do bribe challenges. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you take the money and you hose everybody else on your
Yeah.
team. So everybody wanted to know if you're going to be the guy that's going to hose everybody. And I was like, nope, I'm going all the way. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, if I go to number 2, right? So the prize money was $5 million.
Mhm.
I go, if I make it to the top 2 and lose and get nothing, I'll do that before I'll take a bribe and go home. And they were like, why? You're out of your mind. You know what
yeah,
I
I
mean?
was gonna say, you have a good heart, because I know a lot of people that would not do that.
It wasn't heart at all. I mean, it was completely just pure hedonism, right? I mean, it was self-fulfilling. So I just told people, I go, I'm this rare breed of people that I've found the one thing in life I love to do more than anything in the world,
True.
stand-up comedy. And followers, I don't need self-affirmation from followers. I don't, judge myself or my worth by the number next to my name on Instagram. But if you have a couple 100,000 followers on Instagram, you can get booked across the country, clubs all over the place, right?
True.
So I thought, if I gain enough followers through this, that it opens up the door for me to be able to do what I love the rest of my life, I'll make my 5 million doing that anyway, right?
True. Yeah.
On the flip side, if I take a bribe and I become a villain,
Yeah.
people get death threats. I got a wife and kids. I don't need death threats. I get enough of
True.
that from my wife. You know, it's like, and then, you know, it's like every time the club posts, we got a comic coming and people show up in the comments like, screw you, you jerk.
Yeah,
You know,
you did this.
it
to
would
these
hurt the
people.
business. It would hurt my plans as a comic. So I just said, I'm going all the way. I'm not taking any bribes. So I'd have gone up there for the $1 million, not taking that. And then they went to the Cubes after that. And they offered the guy who got my spot with the white jersey. They're like, hey, do you want immunity because you kept us here by not taking the $1 million? He's like, nope, I just want to play the game like everybody else. And I was like, yep, I'll take the immunity.
Yep.
Now I'm on to the next challenge. Now I got a good chance of catching that helicopter flight to the island.
Absolutely.
I'm top 50. I think I could have gone pretty far, and just
absolutely.
a couple things didn't work out. So
now you were not part of the episode with the drops, right? Where everybody stood on the platform and then just randomly dropped out.
yeah, part of
You were
that.
part of that?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how just nerve-wracking was that?
I think the scariest thing is obviously that they're never going to show it, but one of them malfunctioned.
Oh, no
So,
way.
So there's 2 doors that would drop. So like in theory, your right and left leg go at the same time.
Right, absolutely.
This one dropped one side, and the guy like tipped, and it looked like he was going to rack himself pretty good
Oh, no.
when he caught himself.
Oh, good.
And then after that, people were like, "Yo," people were kind of timid about it, but the episode made it look, you know, like it's like 100-foot drop.
Right.
And it was probably, we were all in like an airplane hangar, and they had artificially built basically like a second floor. So when you're coming into the hangar, you could see the, you know, like the tunnel that you would fall through, and you go up the stairs. Now you're filming up on top of these platforms. So it's probably about a 10 feet from top to bottom.
Okay.
But foam was probably, you know, 4 feet tall. So it was just enough to get you out of camera, you know, and make sure your arms
That
aren't going
had
to
to
get.
be nerve-wracking. I can't even do those slides at Six Flags,
Yeah.
let alone sit there for money involved.
I know. I kind of
ridiculous.
wanted to experience it, if I'm honest. I didn't
mean,
want to
the
get
whole-
eliminated, but I wanted to try it.
The whole scenes, you know, the where he was at in the second episode, the whole island or whatever it would be, where it was like a fake village.
Oh
with-
yeah. Oh,
with the homes and all that.
B City.
It looked awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, and
It
then,
wasn't.
Then it wasn't, I'm sure. But then the third episode, which I believe was the last one we watched, is when they started putting teams, or you had to fight to get a seat in the helicopter.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they kind of previewed the island, and that's when it was like so many people getting so emotional. And I'm trying to explain to my son, I'm like, you know, these people aren't the you know, right people you want to be around, because you know they would stab their own mother just to get $100,000. And then there's, oh my god, the world is ending because I don't have any money. I'm like,
people
geez.
got the guy that held somebody on our team. People were big mad because
Really?
the rules were like, you can't touch anybody, you can't restrain anybody, you can't push them out the door. Like it has to be on their own accord. And I think, truth be told, I think the guy that he held kind of just used it as an excuse to stay. I think he could have broke free and left if he wanted to, but it gave him an out to be like, you got all of the people who are happy with you for being willing to self-eliminate from your team, but then
Right.
you didn't self-eliminate.
Right.
But then we all got hosed anyway. But yeah, it was very emotional for people.
Well, that was awesome just to see, and I'm sure the experience. I mean, you've been all over just since, you know, the last few years since we've met. You know, seeing, you know, one of the bucket list things I've told you since one of the first things I told you, one of my bucket lists is to go see a show at the Comedy Store. It was just one of those things growing up, you know, all the old comedians, whether it was Robin Williams or, you know, Dave Chappelle, it goes to the Comedy Store. And one of my favorite things growing up was watching Saturday Night Live. And now this 50-year anniversary, and then I don't know how the relation with was it Keenan?
Yes.
Yeah.
And seeing your Instagram videos sitting in Times Square, and you know, sitting VIP in you know, where did you sit backstage at the SNL? Is that where that
so
video was?
It ended up being that I was supposed to have more access than I ended up. So one of Keenan's longtime friends, I think she was his personal assistant at one time, I don't know if she still is, was supposed to come with me, and that would have given me more access. She could kind of tour me around, and her mother-in-law passed away like the day before, so I ended up not having her with me, but still got to go and meet some of the cast and go watch the show live. Obviously, we hung out at the pre-show party. Like, you don't realize, like, they're filming late. And so we're at this there's a DJ, it's free drinks. So we had this kind of exclusive access, which was very cool. And then we got to go to the after party, and then the after party. I think I got back to my room at like 6:30, which was relatively early, I suppose. But yeah, I got to sit with Keenan and hang out, met Colin Jost, Michael Che, Lauren Michaels was at the after party. I'm like, dude, how old are you? It's 3 a.m. He's there. Timothy Chalamet was there. Adam Sandler was there. It was pretty cool. They were all excited to meet me.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, Sandler was like, are you that guy from Beast Games that did the funny dance? I'm going to miss out, by the way. I think on season 2, they're casting right now. And, but I think they're going to be filming while we're moving the club. It's going to come quick. And I was like, God, I really wanted to do it. I thought it'd be fun to kind of reprise the role, if you will. Like,
yeah. Well, I saw the video with Mr. Beast talking about that guy in that dance, and it was hilarious just to see the recap, I guess, from Mr. Beast.
Yeah, but he said, he was like, I get more feedback about this. Then his girlfriend started following me on Instagram, which was interesting.
Kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fiance now. But yeah, it was like my wife was like, wait, who is this?
Well, at least you know you'll
Jimmy's
a lean in for season 3. If you
I know, right?
In that one.
So it would have been cool to do season 2, but we're moving the club. We'll be too busy. And it's funny, just on the way over here, I noticed I was supposed to be in Canada this weekend at Yuck Yucks. Supposed to headline all weekend in Calgary this weekend, and then I was supposed to do Edmonton next weekend, and I had to back out of those shows because of how quickly we're moving the club.
And you just finished a recent tour, right?
Yeah. Just
are you right in the middle of it?
No, kind of finished a leg of that, and then the next leg will kind of kick off in a little bit. The guys kind of went without me. They just did Philly over the weekend, and I didn't do that one either. Just getting too busy right now. But it's funny, on the drive here, I got the text message about my flight taking off today at 2:30. I haven't canceled my flight. I still have a hotel in Calgary this weekend. So that's how busy it got that I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to cancel that flight. I didn't even know how to cancel a flight. I don't think I've ever done it. It just I show up.
I don't think I have either. I think I just show up to the
I just show up. I've never done it. I don't think I'm going to get any money back, especially by the time we get out. Maybe on the commercial break, we could all pop out the laptops and you guys can walk me through it. No commercial breaks?
I don't fly anywhere. I haven't flew since my trip to Miami to my honeymoon 15 years ago.
Oh, good Lord.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get anywhere. I work and I have a teenager, so
we gotta get you out of the house, Sparky.
Yeah,
maybe you need to go.
I'll be at the well
today.
tomorrow night.
You and Ghostface need to come on down to the well. Celebrate your 16th anniversary.
Would
at
have
the
been
club.
some sort of like island Caribbean style thing, so maybe he thinks it's a vacation. I don't know. We gotta get you out of the house.
We could ferry you someplace. Have you been to Catalina Island?
There you go.
I have a Moneywise Moneywise trip. It was probably 12, 13 years ago, but yeah.
You were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say every year they go. I was
no,
like,
we have goals. When we hit certain goals as a team, we have a work trip.
That sounds pretty cool.
Moneywise is the
I wish
best.
my job would do that.
Yeah, we don't do that at the well. I'll tell you what.
But you're in the middle of a move.
Yes.
Tomorrow or tonight is the final open mic.
Final Thursday
at the well on White
the one
Lane.
that launched it all Thursday nights.
And then the tomorrow night will be the final show, $5 funnies. And the Saturday Night Live. One more question.
Yes.
I've never been to New York, so I believe the video
it's a
I
long
watched.
Drive. That would be a long drive for you.
I saw the video where you were in Times Square, and I think it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and it looked like LA traffic, just people.
Oh yeah.
Is it like that?
Yeah, it's nonstop. And Times Square is obviously so touristy. So it's like you look around and everybody's taking pictures, and like most of the people that are there are just like their plane probably just landed. Like, I gotta see it before I go to bed. So it was wild. It was freezing cold while I was there, but I made it to Cat's Deli. I went and saw a Broadway show, a musical by myself. Felt a little weird,
out of place,
a little lonely, but I was like, I've never seen a Broadway show.
Well,
might as well do that.
A guy from Chicago, is the pizza better?
No,
in Chicago.
On, knock that off. See, I'll get up and leave right now. You drag me out of bed.
I was just wondering.
Drag me out of bed at the crack of dawn.
Tyson's been here first, and now you're
he wasn't.
You're our 12th guest,
but
and your pizza sucks.
My goal is to hit Chicago.
Team.
I've always wanted to go to the Comedy Store. I've always wanted to go to Chicago and see the United Center and see the Jordan statue.
Okay.
I've always wanted to have a slice of pizza in New York. I'm an easy guy.
I think we can make these things happen.
Well,
you still haven't been to the store?
No.
Let's go to the store.
I've loved to, but I've every time I've seen it, it's either sold out or.
Buddy, I'll get you in.
Okay,
I know a guy.
Yeah. Let's do it.
You come with me.
And I know a guy that knows a guy. So
No one knows me. I'm just I pay somebody quietly, but I make it look cool. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is my buddy Steven. Come on.
Well, I don't want to forget anything, but the question about SNL, which show was it?
It was the Timothy Chalamet one. So
Okay.
he was the host and the musical guest.
Right on.
And you know what's funny, by the way? The week before that, we were supposed to have Donnell Rawlings from the Chappelle Show at the club. And
Which
the
I went and
agent
saw.
called me like 10 days prior. And I answered the phone. I was like, Sam, you better not have bad news for me. He's like, why would you think that? I was like, it's been that kind of a day because the fires were going on. So it's like I'm losing shows with LA artists and stuff. And he goes, no, I got great news. In fact, I'd like to offer you guys D. Ray Davis. And I was like, oh, that is great news.
Which he went to.
Yep.
Yeah. So we started a great show, right?
Fantastic.
So we started working that out. And he goes, okay, but I actually do have some bad news. And I go, dude, come on, man. And he goes, Chappelle call. I was like, that's it. Don't say anything else. I already know. So Chappelle got invited to do SNL, and he asked Donnell to go with him to do a sketch.
Right.
So it took away the weekend that Donnell was at the club. We had to reschedule it. And then I'm at SNL the next weekend. I was like, you know how cool it would have been if Chappelle got asked to do the show the weekend that I was there?
Yes.
Like, I would have had Donnell at the club for 4 sold out shows. We'd have hung out all weekend, I assume. I think he would have liked me. And then the next weekend we're at SNL and it's Chappelle. And I could be like, Donnell, what up, my guy? Like, introduce us.
We me and Ghostface sat front row for the first show of the Rawlings show, which was awesome. Got to meet with him. I got to meet the young lady that was running the show that night. And the opener was hilarious. He hung out afterwards. We had a drink and hung out. And that whole show was awesome. I've had many memories. I know me and Burdick were talking off the air before you came in, just running down some of the shows we've seen, that he saw the Uncle Laser one.
Oh, that was a fun one too.
I remember one of the first ones where you headlined, where I actually got to see more than the 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Just great shows at the Well. So I'm looking forward to the next chapter, but there's also another show, unless that has been moved, but the Tom Green show later this month.
No, yeah, that's not from the club. That's going to be at the Nile.
That's separate, yes.
And I'm featuring on that show. Which
fantastic.
Which is April
29th, I believe.
9th at the Nile Theater.
Yeah.
So it'll be my first time being at the Nile since my parents used to drop me off with $2 and pick me up 8 hours later. This is pre you moving to Bakersfield, but the Nile Theater used to have 4 movies back to back to back to back.
Super
and it was $5. So
4 different movies?
Yep.
So she would just drop you off like the whole day, huh?
For 8 hours. That was my babysitter.
That's back when you'd make a collect call and you would like tell your mom to pick you up when they said the name.
Yes.
Remember that?
You go get a gumball for a nickel too?
She would page me. I'm out front or whatever. But yeah, it was the
That's super cool. I'm excited to perform it. It's a great theater. You and I know the director over there. Awesome dude. Had lunch with him yesterday. He's fantastic. And so the director of the Fox and the Nile. And I think those theaters are doing great because of him.
Yes.
And by the way, we're actually going to rehome some of the shows that we had scheduled at the Well. We're going to do them at the Nile.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So they've been gracious to us. So we're going to rehome some of the shows at the Nile. Just confirmed we'll rehome a couple of them over at Tumbler Brewing Company as well. And our open mics, our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night free open mics are going to be rehomed to Eva's, which is the small event space in the East Lobby of the Fox. So starting next Tuesday, East Lobby of the Fox, you look at the building, it's just to the right-hand side. It's connected physically, but there's no way into the Fox from Eva's. It's gorgeous. They have Trout's old bar in there that Trout's donated to them. It's super gorgeous. It feels like a jazz lounge or speakeasy. I don't know how to describe it. It's really
just a chill, like low.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So for all of our comics to be downtown, I think is going to be fun for a while. So check that out. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, doors at 6, sign up list at 6:30 for folks that want to sign up and do comedy. Mike starts at 7 o'clock, goes till probably 9:30ish or whatever. That's gonna be really cool. And then, being able to do some of our shows like Hans Kim, Tony Rock. I don't know how far out we'll go. Chingle Bling, Cactus Tate, some really great shows we have coming up. What would be Steph Talev's coming? That's gonna be a really good one. 4 show sold out weekends. We'll do 2 or 3 shows at the Nile. But that also means that some of our local comics, it might be the biggest show that some of them have done. They're checking that theater box. It's 356 seats.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so excited
That's
about
cool.
it. So like great friends over at the Fox and the Nile taking us in while we're temporarily homeless, while we're displaced.
While you're moving everything out of this horrible building.
Urinals and everything. I got to be honest with you. I hope somebody over there is listening. I hate that building. It's like it's home. I love everything that we've done there. I swear to God, I'm probably gonna cry tomorrow night when I turn the lights off and leave, knowing it's the last time we're gonna see it like that.
Well, I'll cry with you.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Let's get ham boned. Let's get just.
I don't have plans Saturday. This was the first week that I've had to start waking up at 4:30 in the morning.
I was gonna ask you what time. 4:30.
I get here about 5:30, but I don't drink coffee, so I'm not a talker in the morning, so I have to get here a couple hours early and prep and get ready, and but it's been different. And just like me at MoneyWise, we're in the middle of packing up everything that we've been for the last 15 years off Stockdale Highway and get moved over to Woolworths. So, I mean, it's going to be the evolution. We're super excited about the things that are coming, but it's the whole thing. Nobody likes moving.
No, it's awful.
But, the best part of the evolution is the big things that are coming. So I'm super excited. I'm super pumped about you guys. I'm also, your BFF. So I'm always following you and just super proud of you, dude. What
Thank
we've
you,
seen
man.
over the last 3 to 4 years is just amazing. Bakersfield, you should give a round of applause to this guy because he's brought so much, comedy to this town. And just follow the Well Comedy Club. They're on Instagram. Check their website out for these updates. And we'll keep Dan rolling. And whenever he can come in and give us some updates, we're always here for you, brother. And I appreciate you waking up early or not going to sleep yet.
Dude, I'm tired. This was a bad idea.
But get your ass out of here and cancel your flight. And hopefully you can get a refund. But
Yeah,
we
really.
appreciate you coming on, and we'll wrap up this show after this break. And like I said before, get your free open mic tickets tonight at the Well, 7401 White Lane. And can you buy tickets for the Friday show online?
Yes, thewellcomedyclub.com. You can buy them online or you can buy them at the door. It'll be our last show, so buy your tickets early. It might be sold out. It'll be a fun one. I think we're gonna blow this guy out. I'm gonna get ham boned. You're gonna get ham boned.
I'll be there.
Ghostface is
Me
gonna
and
get ham boned.
Ghostface.
It's gonna be awesome.
Keep it tuned in at the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 12:30 a.m.
101.1 FM.